एकं अक्षरं हृदि निरन्तरं भासते स्वयं विद्यते कथम्। हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् अहम् इति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति। हृदि विषमनसा स्म चिन्वता मज्जता अनुचलनरोधा आत्मनिष्ठो भूत्वम्। देहं मृण्मयवत् जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तत भावशक्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावः भावयुतः कुतोऽरधिया दृष्टात्मनिष्ठात्मना सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचल शिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं। सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचल शिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं। Namo Ramana. In this, the Thursday Satsang from Ramanacentre Center for Learning, it has been our practice to read two verses selected for us from the work Guruvachakakkovai by Muruganar Swamigal. The verses are selected by Ms. Revati Shankar at random. After each verse is read, there will be a short meditation on the meaning of the verse, and that meditation shall lead to the practice of Atma Vicharam for about 15 minutes. After these two verses are read, meditated upon, and the two segments of self-enquiry are completed, there will be summing up remarks by Venkatesh Deshpande ji, and that shall be followed by the offering of the chanting of Sri Ramana Ashtotram. The chanting shall be by Vaibhavji and Pratnama online. The puja team is not present here, so the rest of us will offer the I thought by enquiry. Who is the listener? Who is the listener of the Ashtotram? With Bhagavan's immense grace, we begin the satsang by taking up the first verse selected for us, verse number 190. We find this in the first of the three segments into which the book is divided. That is investigation into truth. The next is meditation on the truth. And the last segment is experience of the truth. 190 we find in the subsegment the greatness of ahamuka facing towards the self. The greatness of ahamuka facing towards the self. There is a subheading, the means of subsiding in the heart. The means of subsiding in the heart, the greatness of ahamuka, 190. You people who go flying like birds to one holy Shiva shrine after another, not realizing that Shiva is dwelling within you. You people who go flying like birds to one holy Shiva shrine after another, not realizing that Shiva is dwelling within you. Supreme Shivam is the consciousness that has subsided and focused itself without the slightest movement in the heart. You people who go flying like birds to one holy Shiva shrine after another, not realizing that Shiva is dwelling within you, the Supreme Shivam is the consciousness that has subsided and focused itself without the slightest movement in the heart. The consciousness within, when it subsides from attending to the non-self and focuses on itself, focuses on the self, and thereby, without the slightest movement, it remains in the heart. That consciousness is the Shivam. Is Shivam, says Bhagavan. This is the best pilgrimage indicated by Bhagavan and Muruganar Swamigal. What do they say? We do pilgrimages to various shrines. Could be Shiva shrine, could be to other deities. What does Bhagavan say in Ashtakam? He says that Irundulir O Arunachala. The Ashtakam is Arunachala Ashtakam. O Arunachala, you are the existence consciousness. Irundulir Unai viduthu அடுத்திடல் தெய்வம் இருட்டினை விளக்கு எடுத்து அடுத்திடல் ஏகான். To search for a God in places or in various times, holding you within as the existence consciousness, is like searching for darkness, holding light with yourself. இருந்தொளிர் உனை அறிவுறுத்திடற்கென்றே இருந்தனை மதம் தரும் விதவித உருவாய். Including the name Arunachala and all the names of deities, what is the reality of that? The reality is Irundulir, is existence consciousness or consciousness that has subsided from its attention to the non-self and is attending to its own ever-present nature. What is existence consciousness? The consciousness that is aware of its own ever-present nature. Whenever Bhagavan would be approached with a problem, Bhagavan would say, was this present in deep sleep? But in deep sleep, you were there. Therefore, hold yourself now. Ask, for whom is this problem? And for whom is the solution in the timeline or in the place line. I'll go to that shrine and then see Shiva. But the greatest pilgrimage is to see Shiva as the existence consciousness, and the consciousness that we are the non, to take its identity away from the body and away from the thought and take it to its own ever present nature. You feel, oh, of late the body is to be trimmed by doing some exercises in the next 15 days. I have to fast. What is the pilgrimage to be done there? For whom is this feeling? For whom is this thought? Shiva is not to appear only after the body is slimmed or body is trimmed or body is strengthened. He is to be seen here and now, and not by taking this body to various talas. That also is given perspective when Bhagavan is asked a question in the talks. Are the places like Kashi having the power in themselves, or is the power in the faith of the sadhaka? Is the power of the pilgrimage place, is it in the place or is it in the faith of the sadhaka? Bhagavan's answer is both. As far as our outside pilgrimage is concerned, it makes sense to come to this satsang. It makes sense to go to a pilgrimage place. It makes sense to sit and do self-enquiry there in Bhagavan's Sannidhi. So far as we go for search of this or that in the world, we can also go to the pilgrimage place. But what is the best pilgrimage that we can do is to take that consciousness which wants to do pilgrimage by identifying with the body and taking it elsewhere, by asking, for whom is this thought? Who am I? The consciousness is made to let go of the non-self and hold its own ever-present nature. That is when it subsides, is self-aware and is resting in the heart. Bhagavan says in Upadesha Saram, Bhava Balaktinal Bhavanatita Sadbhavat Tirtale Undi Parabhakti Tattvam. What is the Parabhakti? Best Parabhakti is we still have Bhava Bala, because the Bhava still searching for this or that. With that Bhava Bala, inquire for whom is this thought and go to the Bhavanatita Sadbhava. The thought has been let go of. For whom is this thought? This thought is for me. When we ask who am I, the thought has been let go of. So Bhavanatita Sthiti, for a moment at least with the Bhava Bala you have gone. But Sadbhava is there. Are you there or not? You are very much there. With thought or without thought, you are there. Hold your existence bereft of all the supports is what Bhagavan teaches. That is the visit to the Shiva shrine, which is the cave of the heart. There you can enter as the Sadbhava itself. You have to go there as Ullapurul, though with Bhava Bala, and with practice, the Bhava Bala becomes unnecessary when the Vasanas are completely erased. So let us sit, and with Bhava Bala, let's make this pilgrimage to Irundulir. Irundulir Arunachala, who is present in all religions and all belief systems as various namas. It is always the I, the existence consciousness, which is the power which is there, the Atma Shakti which is there, is called by different names in different markas. So let us sit in Atma Charam for the next 15 minutes. Ujjwalji will trouble you. Thank you.
नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
Namo Ramana. We take the second verse selected for us, verse number 979. This is in the segment Experience of the Truth. We find it in the subsegment Satchitananda. Jnana alone is true devotion. Jnana alone is true devotion. Verse 979. The three words, liquidity, sweetness, and coolness, which are not opposed to each other, refer only to the single substance, water, which is unique. The three words, liquidity, sweetness, and coolness, which are not opposed to each other, refer only to the single substance, water, which is unique. Likewise, though the self is described as Sat, Chit, Ananda, as if it has three natures, upon keen investigation, the three words will be known to refer only to the one self. The three words, liquidity, sweetness, and coolness, which are not opposed to each other, refer only to the single substance, water, which is unique. Likewise, though the self is described as Sat, Chit, Ananda, as if it has three different natures, upon keen investigation, these three words will be known to refer to only the one self. So the Atma Jnana itself is Sat, Chit, Ananda. We begin with Ananda because that is what we are in search of. We realize from the search of objects, from the search of experiences, in the preamble to the work, Bhagavan says, we are not in search of objects or experiences. We are all only in search of happiness. What kind of happiness? Happiness that is always there and without any admixture with sorrow, without any alloying with sorrow, the fullness of happiness. Now, a person in the eyes of others may have everything for happiness, but he himself may not know it. So unless one is aware of the happiness is of no real anubhava or practicality. So the happiness has to be with awareness of happiness, and unless that happiness which is actually present in awareness is not true, is sometimes existing and sometimes, if it is sometimes absent, then that is not real happiness. Therefore, the happiness which one is aware of or which is present in awareness should be Sat, should be ever present. And Bhagavan says, Ulladunara Unarvu Verinmayin Ulladunarvahum Mundipara Unarve Nam Ayulam Mundipara. The I, which first wants to merge in the Ananda Swarupa of Ishvara, Anburu Unilanai, Anbak Karaitharul Karunachala. We want to merge in the Ananda Kosha of Ishvara. But then from there, one understands the Anandamaya Kosha is also, the experience is apart from the existence. So one holds that Anandamaya with awareness and keeps quiet. That Anandamaya becomes absorbed in Jnana. The Anandamaya we call as Bhakti, the Jnanamaya we call as Jnanam, But then the jnanam is the true bhakti. The bhakti is called as anburu, which actually ends in the jnanavuru. Therefore, the bhakti, which is the love, which is anburu, ends in sat or the self, which is jnanavuru. This is in practice what we do when we have an emotion. Let's say we have the emotion of love or happiness in the mind, which is present as an experience. We are asked to inquire for whom is this feeling. A general feeling of happiness is there when we are, let's say, friends in satsang and all that. There is a bubbling joy which you can experience as a positive emotion, which can be called the faith, which can be called as the confidence in the self, which can be called as self respect, which can be called as self attention. When self attention has a little bit of emotional content, we are able to feel it. Bhagavan says that bliss, one should not stop with that, because there is still an experiencer of that bliss, and one should inquire who is feeling this bliss. The answer will come, I am feeling. And when we ask, who am I? We are going to the self, which is actually the Adhara of Ananda, Chit and Sat. The Sat itself is the self. The Sat itself is the awareness and the Ananda. So one rests as the pure existence, the awareness of which is not apart from it. The existence itself is awareness. In self-attention, what we do, we hold on to that with effort in sadhana. And when that holding becomes natural, because vasanas are not there, then it becomes pure Sat. That Sat itself is Chit, that Chit itself is Ananda. Therefore, this verse says that Satchitananda, the name for Ishvara, the name for the Supreme Being that we give, is nothing but the Self, the Atman. Just like the sweetness, the liquidity, and the coolness are only indicating the one water, Sat, Chit, Ananda. It represents only where you are going to rest when self-attention is natural. When self-attention is natural, having erased all the vasanas, where are we going to rest? We are going to rest in the Brahman, which is Satchitananda, which is not other than the self. These are different names given to the same Satchitananda, Brahman, Satchit. All these are given only to one substance, which is the Sat Swabhava, or which is the self. And that is where the Brahmastram of Atmavicharam, having completely burnt itself in that Jnanagni of I, that I also quietens into the self. But we should begin with the preliminary. Always begin with the preliminary, continue with the preliminary. The self will reveal itself when it is appropriate. But the sadhana is open to all of us. So when thought comes, do not pursue it. Forget about all the theory of the self, whether it is Satchitananda, this or that. What is the Guru Upadesha? When the Asat, when the Anatma arises as the thought, don't pursue it. Let the Anatma go, then it will drop away. Ask for whom is this thought? Is for me. Who am I? With Bhavabala only, you go. But now with the understanding that the attention is now attending to its own existence. There is no other there. The otherness is completely dropped, even in sadhana. So when we feel that the present movement is a movement of lack of hope, and we project that lack of hope to the past or the future, all we have to do is ask for whom is this lack of hope, for whom the entire past and the entire future are looking bleak. They are looking bleak because in the present moment we are inattentive to the ever present self. So the sadhana is, don't go after the anatma, turn the attention back toward the source by inquiring, who am I? Let's do that. These truths revealed in the verse will automatically reveal themselves. They are not end results. They are the adhara for sadhana. The Sat and the Self are the pre-existing adhara with which we do sadhana. So they are not the result of sadhana. They are the adhara in which the sadhana extinguishes all the sticks of vasanas in that jnanagni and finally quietens into the Atman or the Self. So let us sit in Atma Vicharam for the next 15 minutes. Ujjwal ji, we give it to you.
नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
Namo Ramana. May I request Venkatesh Deshpande ji to give us the summing up remarks. Namo Ramana sir.
Namo Ramana. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnanamulam Gurur Murtihi, Pujamulam Gurur Padam, Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa. Namo Ramana. See, if you go into Maharashtra, there is what's called Dattatreya temples. You know, Dattatreya temples have Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. So all three of them. And you go to Gangapur or Narsobachi Wadi. These are very famous Dattatreya sthals in Maharashtra. If you go there, what you see in the temple, when you go to the temple, you will see 2 feet. Everybody goes and does namaskara to the feet. So where is this Brahma and where is this Vishnu and where is this Maheshwara? They are all sort of all in one, those 2 feet. So the there's no fighting that there is Brahma is separate, Vishnu is separate, Maheshwara is separate. All are actually one. That's what Bhagavan is trying to say. And if you really see Bhagavan, what he's trying to say in his first Upadeshas to his mother, finally what he says, Summa Ira. Ira means what? Be, just be. So where is Sat? In being, or Achyut in being, Ananda in being. So everything is in the being and not in the doing. So if we understand that Bhagavan is trying to say Summa Ira, it is in the being, then all these words are good. You know, they seem, it's like I have my niece. My niece could be my sister's daughter. She could be my brother-in-law's daughter, and there could be so many ways by which you can describe that one person. Or this one body does so many roles: father's role, son's role, mama's role. So many roles it does. But person is that one. So Bhagavan says that once you understand that the doer is only one, and that one does everything. So when that's what Shivananda says, find the knower, find the seer, find the taster, find the smeller. Nothing really exists, nothing belongs to me. I am not immortal self I am, immortal self. So Bhagavan said there's only one, Ekam. So if you understand this aspect of spirituality, there's only one. And that one is called by so many names. Based on beliefs, based on religions, that one is called by different names. But actually there's only one. So that's Satchidananda Atman, whatever you may call, and that is who you are. So the beauty about that is that he says that Tattvamasi, you are that. Jesus says, thou art that. What does it mean? He says that you are that, what you're looking for. So once you understand that, and we do self-inquiry and go deeper and deeper, like what Nandakumar said, then you are going to go to the absolute silence. When you go to the absolute silence, that's the nature of God. That's the nature of being. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana sir. Thank you very much. May I request Vaibhavji and Pratnama to do the chanting of Ashtotram. Let us sit in listening to who is the true listener.
नमो रमण भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितम् श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तम् गुहाहितं तं रमणं कबीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि ॐ महासेन महंसेन जाताय नमः ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः। ॐ महौजसे नमः। ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः। ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः। ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः। ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः। ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः। ॐ सहायम्बा सहायवते नमः। ॐ शूर्णाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः। ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः। ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः। ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः। ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः। ॐ तीव्राय नमः। ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः। ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। ॐ तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। ॐ कुशाग्रदिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ पुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाक्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूर्णिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजतचलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्यनिभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः। ॐ धूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्रीशोणाचलदुद्बोधस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्टे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्नसंशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ हृच्चान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणाद्बन्धमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रिशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हर्तविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनाम पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थानोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्याजनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाह विवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः निर्निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनासेकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
नमो रमणा वैभव जी प्रार्थना। नमो रमणा to Venkatesh ji, नमो रमणा उज्जवल जी, नमो रमणा to all.